Warmest of greetings, friends, and welcome to Dicefunction Discussion, the official, that's right, official Dicefunctional podcast, where a bunch of friends sit around, talk D&D, as well as other nerding-related things to that. Welcome on in, listeners, to episode whatever we're on now. I'm pretty sure it's 4. Because I can count. We had a little bit of a break between the last episode now, and we've covered a couple sessions.
Most of us were dying.
It's true. Yeah, there's been a lot of sickness going around at the current time of recording, so we're all happy that, we've gotten most people into most of the sessions, but we'll get to that in a minute. A little bit of housekeeping for Jace, everybody. Obviously, if you found this, you found us on YouTube or podcast services. Also, check us out everywhere else that we are. If you want to know where that is, follow us on Twitter at Dicefunctional with an underscore. We're going to have all the links there. That's the easiest place to find us for all of the separate links. With me today, I have Kate and I have Michele. We're going to be discussing episodes 55 and 56. Now, 55 was a lot of talking. There was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of ofness. Kind of prepping and learning that, hey, you know what? We're going to have to go into hell. So, hey, shout out to that. Nothing wrong with that. This is totally normal. Adventurers, you go to places that are just awful. Exactly. D&D, shout out to it. Oh, what's the most awful place we can go? Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going to vacation there. And then we hit episode 56, where more or less some planning was involved, and we came up with an actual plan.
Ish.
I know look, this is, I think, the most actual plan that Fortune's Blade has ever come up with. Like an actual, legit plan. And then made our way down south, ran into some interesting stuff, and then, hey, here we are. We survived. It was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll start off with this. Boy, I feel like things are starting to ramp up in an interesting direction, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You guys know this already, but I've been wanting to do a heist for a while, because Morgan's a thief, that's her thing. However, I haven't really had many good chances to express that. I've done some pickpocketing, but that's not really stealing shit. So having this opportunity to just okay, we're all gonna do this. We're all gonna heist. It's gonna be great. To have this opportunity is very exciting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be fun, and I think that'll be a cool new adventure from the group, just to see kind of what we come up with.
I will say we're probably not all gonna steal.
Oh no. I don't think that everyone's going to be participating, because if everybody was participating, that's bad. That's a bad idea. But those who will, it's going to be fun.
I see this in my head as an Ocean's 11 sort of thing, where there are going to be so many moving parts to this. It's going to be all over the place. So
I'm gonna so it's Ocean's 8, really?
Yeah.
Okay, Ocean's 8.
That's the only Ocean's movie I've ever actually seen, Ocean's 8. Yeah. I've been meaning to watch them all, because now I got a plan, but that's the only one I've actually seen. Lauren,
I'll give you this.
Last year.
Avro's 8. There you go. That's the title. Whatever episode it is, it's Avro's 8. Welcome, Becca. There you go.
I mean, Avro probably would not approve of us stealing from rich people, so.
I don't think he would.
Yeah, considering how he reacted, I was gonna say, considering how Avro reacted when Rudi was like, "Hey, I might be related to these people and they might be corrupt." He's like, "I don't get fucking involved in that. Go fucking do it on your own." Basically, stealing from rich
Poor
people.
Avro.
That's another dream of mine. I want to get Avro involved in some of our shenanigans at one point.
Good fucking luck.
I know, but like, I want to adventure like at his side at one point during this game. It is my dream. Like, either it's like, okay, Minerva got kidnapped, I'm coming with you, or what, like, it's an old foe and like Avro's the only one who has to deal with it. Or even just like, Morgan's gone off her rocker, she's only gonna listen to you because of XYZ, and he has to come along, kind of thing. Or even he just gets kidnapped and we have to save his ass. I want that. Anyway, sorry.
Be a thing. You never know, man. You never know.
But
ever know.
Yeah. He's not gonna like that we're heisting, but like it's what adventuring parties do. We just do dumb shit because we need to.
I think at some point, I know a lot of people put a lot of stock in Avro kind of running everything, but I don't know about you guys, but it feels like to me a lot of this it's moving so far away from all of the Avro stuff and all of the Blue Cloak stuff. It feels more like this is kind of as it should. This feels more like, hey, this is Fortune's Blade stuff, and it's less, hey, we're Blue Cloaks who have our own name, and this is becoming now more one of those, oh yeah, we just also kind of do stuff for the Blue Cloaks on the side, like a side gig.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, honestly. Like, I think in general, like, if you start as part of the guild or whatever, like in general, you start doing out the guild stuff as you learn to get to know each other. But then as time goes on, you get to know each other and you like sort of become your own little like group or family, or you know what we are at this point. I don't know. We're a very dysfunctional family at this point. So I'd say
we're a bunch of people. Like, does that count as a family? We're a bunch of people who kind of tolerate each other. Like, they die for each other, but also they bury each other's bodies if necessary. Like when they get stuck together. Is that how a dysfunctional family works?
Yes.
All right, lit.
I agree.
Yeah, and you know, as that happens, we want to help each other out more than sort of the guild stuff sort of starts to fall away, which is fun, like, which is great actually, like, because there's also like bigger world like stuff than like guild stuff, because guild stuff tends to sort of stay I guess like very
centralized.
No, less. That's not kind of not what I mean. I think it's less. Guild stuff tends to be very like less
localized. Would that be a better word?
Less dangerous or less like pressing is what I mean. Less pressing. That's what I mean. Like, it's like, oh, deal with these goblins, or you know, go and you know, the backstory or like the stuff that we're dealing with as like backstory or character stuff is more world, like it's a lot more pressing, like Maddie's stuff with her mom being in freaking hell, or you know, like Mercy stuff with her father being like the head of a like really super dangerous cult, and like my stuff and whatever is stuff with Gale and Morgan stuff. I guarantee you that stuff is a lot more world changing than whatever the guild stuff is. And sure, the whatever with Black Iron being over in Rosenvale dealing with the dark sky stuff, I think that's a guild matter, if I'm not mistaken. It sounds like it's like through Blue Cloaks, like they've been sent there. So maybe that is a little more world pressing, like world dealing with, but in general, like the guild stuff tends to be a lot less pressing, and like it's going to like harm the world if it doesn't get dealt with. And the stuff in our background tends to be a lot more dangerous and pressing. So I'm cool with dealing with less with the guild stuff and more with the other stuff, our stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, it does. I would agree entirely. It's, the way I've always described it is the guild stuff is usually small potatoes, and it's for, people who know what they're doing, but they're more, hey, I've got skills, like I know what I'm doing, I can handle myself in a fight, and if there's a little bit of danger, I'm good, but I'm not out here trying to be a hero or anything like that. But yeah, I agree entirely. But yeah, I know there was a lot of information that got dropped, and I think we're seeing a little bit more kind of the stakes that are coming up against the group. So it's just kind of, I wanted to kind of get both of your takes on how, like, right now, from where your characters are at, and Kate, we'll start with you.
Oh fuck.
Where do you feel like, where does Morri feel like everything's headed? Does it feel like there's something to her even bigger than kind of what's going on? Or is it like, hey, there are just a couple things going on, and I just happen to know all of these people that are involved in it?
Okay. So if there's something bigger going on, or if she just knows the people who know that things are going on that are bigger, is that the general question?
It's more, does she feel like this is something where she's like, all right, well, there's a lot of stuff that's called kind of involved, and I'm a part of something bigger? Or is it just like, I just happen to run into all of these people, and there's just a lot of separate bad stuff that they all have to deal with?
Okay. I think she's starting to move towards she's moving towards the former rather than the latter. Because her mission largely has not changed. She's still going to do what she wants, she's still going to try to do what she wants to do, which is getting revenge, finding her brother, so on and so forth. However, with her moving closer and starting to care for these people, I feel like she's going to move towards, okay, now I'm a part of this in a way that I haven't been before. In a way, let's see if that makes like it's now at this point she's moving towards, I can't leave because I have a responsibility to help with what's going on. Whereas before it was, she could leave if she wanted to, but this is working well for her, kind of thing. I've mentioned before she's been taught more self-reliance, but now it's like, well, now I'm involved, but now these people who have helped me, who are going to help me, who've sworn to help me, and I trust them to do that, which is something that's, if what I hope happens, you're going to see isn't something that happens often to her. Now she's going to be seeing these responsibilities outside the world, like working with Michele, with Rudi and Gail and everything, these larger stuff we have to deal with as, okay, I have a hand in this. I need to help. Like, I'm part of this now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of moving on from the like, oh, well, this is all just happenstance, and it's one of those where, happenstance just keeps happening, and you're like, these are all these all seem way too coincidental to not be connected. Like, okay, yeah.
There's a line
I gotta do something now.
As something I said, I think not in the last like 2 sessions ago, when we were talking either to or about Avaro in the aftermath of the fight. I think I said, like, there's a fine line between coincidence and suspicion, and I think we've, like, that still rings true in this sense. And I just want to say, because my mic was muted and I thought it wasn't, when Michele was like, oh yeah, we have to deal with everyone else's stuff, I love how, and this is still because we have no fucking clue what's going on with Dea or Addicts technically, but like that's because he's new. Morgan's got like one of the most low-key backstories and plans in the whole group. Like, she is out to kill like one guy and find like two people. She's not like, her parents aren't undead monsters that we have to deal with. She's not on the run from like something trying to kill her. No fiends are involved. She's just here to kill one guy. So it's like looking at everyone else like, oh yeah, Mercy's dad's part of a cult. Rudi was going to be a sacrificial lamb, and like I'm over here like, I just need to kill one person. It's so low key. I find it funny where it's like, it's not gonna be world changing when she finishes her work, unless Connor actually ends up like blowing up the world by accident, which, you know, I wouldn't put it past him.
Gonna point out,
Yeah.
again, erudite stuff is not stuff I came up with. That was all Connor. So that's what you think. No, I'm saying that's what you think.
Yeah.
No, all of that was Connor. I'm saying that's what you think. I did not come up with any of that. That was all Connor.
And I'm not denying that. I'm saying like Rudi's story has gotten so much bigger than has gotten a whole lot bigger than the initial plan. And because I know where I'm going with this, because like Morgan's wish is to get retribution, like it's so much smaller compared to, oh yeah, my birth parents made a deal with a fiend and they were going to sacrifice me to it, but then I got smuggled away and now we have to deal with all of that. Like,
and what I'm saying is, you think it's that small, but it could be much more and you don't realize it.
Yeah, you guys all know my theories. You guys all know my feelings about it. There is a joke that the friend I keep a friend updated on what's going on with the game. Like, she asks me like, "Hey, how's D&D?" And she also asks, "Hey, has Morgan committed a war crime yet?" And I'm like, "Nope, not yet."
It won't be a war crime. It will be treason. That's my bet. By the way, this episode, I'm going to mark this so that way when it does happen, we can refer back to this. Yeah, no, I think that'll be that'll be funny.
Is it treason if it's on like if it's like a truce, but they were on the other side?
No,
and then you kill them?
No. Treason is you are a member of a nation and you commit a crime against said nation. So as one being from Ekis, if you were to murder someone, let's say like who is whoever highest politically in Ekis as a citizen of Ekis, that would be considered treason.
I know, but it's also like, I know that they're like two different nations. Like, it's the dwarves and the elves over there. So it's like, technically it is a separate nation. It's just like on the same continent, you know?
Like, technically, again, I'm calling treason. Michele.
That's fair. Sorry.
For what is kind of the same question from Rudi's perspective as, you know, I know Rudi and Gale have spent a lot more time getting involved with all of the aspects and stuff like that and trying to mental out that puzzle, which we've barely scraped. And I feel like that one's going to get dropped on us at the worst possible moment, like an absolute cargo freighter. Yeah. And for those of you that haven't caught all of it, the aspects are part of that whole, it's been called a dead language, but it's these symbols that supposedly you could only hear if you've crossed over to death and back. It has to do with language of Pharasma's servants called the psychopomps, which is why Gale has always been so good at talking to Pharasma's birds. But that was part of what all these aspects are in. All of the runes are in that language. But yeah, starting to see some of this all come together, and I know Rudi's already suspicious of everything involving her, kind of her birth parents and all of that kind of. Is it really turning on her? Yeah. Is it starting to become the, oh crap, like this is gonna be bad, or is it still like, okay, one thing at a time, we'll take care of this situation and then we'll take care of that situation?
She's trying to do option B and it's turning into option A. she's trying so hard to like compartmentalize and it's not happening. It's just okay.
Getting a lot harder to do.
It's okay. All right, so like in her brain, it's like, okay, her brain's a jumbled mess right now because she's got the aspect stuff. Okay, cool. Everyone understands. So that's good. That helps a lot. And then she's got whatever's happening over in Rosenvale, and fucking Alice is over there. So like someone she cares about is going to be very close to her family or the family that birthed her or whatever. And oh, that freaks her the fuck out. Like she's I think she said something like, I think I said it was like, oh, I'm a bit panicked. It's more than a bit panicked. She just has not told anyone that. She's very worried about that. And I don't think she's let on how worried she is. So that's a lot. And then you have the fact that we have to go into hell. And you know, as a person who reads the books, she has to be the one to get all that information. Because like generally that stuff's in books. Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. And then you have the other thing of whatever the others are, of which she only knows there are 2 of them, but there are actually 8 that we're not aware of. Does not know their intentions. My brain, Michele brain, has been like waving back and forth and whether they're bad or good, whether they will be an enemy or a friend, because I'm not really sure. Like it could go either way. Yeah. It could be they could be the people stealing everything. Like, I don't know. And if they are the people stealing everything, cool. I've just put a target on my back. And then there's, you know, there's just so much going on and her brain is a dumb jumble. It's just so hard. Everything just seems to like, I have a feeling that whatever is going on with her birth parents is probably connected to everything. I don't know why, but I feel like it is. And I feel like that's going to cause, maybe they have an artifact or something that's going to cause problems. I fear for whatever is going to happen with Alice, because Connor was evil laughing and I don't like that. Connor evil laughed. Connor did a couple of like things during the session. I was like, this worries me. Because like,
do not like.
It was straight do not like. Oh God. Like I have this weird theory that the others are going to just show up at the festival because there's like Kate will actually understand this reference. It's going to turn into the 2 Life crew job, that episode of Leverage where it's the opposing crew.
I vaguely remember that. Again, I still need to rewatch because when I watched it, I was like 12 years old when I marathoned the whole series.
There's an episode. There's an episode of Leverage where they're trying to steal a painting because it's been stolen. Yes. Like, and there's another group that is also trying to steal the same painting.
Is this the one where it's like, was it the one where Elliot ended up making out with like the other team's hitter?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yep. I remember this one.
That's the one.
Oh, Jace, you understand this too? Good. Okay.
Yes. No, I used to watch Leverage all the time,
Fuck
my dude.
Yeah.
No, trust me, I remember.
Cabin 3 watch party. We're gonna do it.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Focus.
Anyway, but it's like I'm scared it's gonna end up like that, where we're both trying to steal the same thing for different reasons. Like maybe they're trying to steal it for bad reasons, and we're trying to steal it to save someone. You know what I mean? Like they're like maybe they are a crew that is just like they're accumulating for whoever their boss is for some nefarious reason, not protecting it just to use them or whatever. And we're doing it because we want to save someone. And that is what I'm scared of. My brain hurts.
We can always just, because I can't remember how that episode ended, we can always just let them steal it and then steal it from them.
We'll see.
If that happens,
it depends. It depends on a lot. Like if
it depends on so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, we're walking into a lot. There are a lot of unknowns, and so kind of along the lines with, I think, Michele, kind of where you're angling at with where Rudy's head's at. It's one of those where, you know, you dig down just a little bit and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to follow this one route. And then all of a sudden, poof, it goes off in this whole spider web of routes. And you're going, Oh,
Yeah.
crap. And
That's your
then
brain.
you fall into kind of a hole, and then you realize that there are like 6 other tree roots that are all connected, and they just get thicker and more spider webbing. You're going, oh, crap.
I just feel like
don't
we're
wanna
gonna
here.
be in so much shit at some
It's
point.
like when you go on Wikipedia and you start getting distracted, and it's like you start off at one subject, and then you keep clicking the hyperlinks, and suddenly you're on like the other side of the world, metaphorically, with Wikipedia. Like you just
7
got
degrees
there.
of Kevin Bacon.
Yep, it's 6 degrees. But yeah, I get what you mean.
7,
No, it's
12,
6.
whatever it
Jace.
is. Just there are degrees and Kevin Bacon's involved.
Yes.
All, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
Important thing.
Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, we got a couple questions. Cole threw a couple in the chat. By the way, with these that they are going to be edited. I'm working on. I'm so busy. I'm still trying to catch up on them. But these will be up on YouTube. For those of you listening, if you are interested in putting questions in for the podcast, for us to answer, feel free to either leave them on the VODs, after the new VOD has been posted, or you can hit us up on Twitter at Dicefunctional with an underscore. And I'll try and grab as many of those as I can before episodes, as soon as I start getting these edited and get them up for you guys to listen to. But we'll start with the question that Cole left in for Michele. So his question is, why was Rudi so reluctant to have the pauldrons? Sure, there is potential she may become a target for them, but does that really enough? But is that really enough to not want a super powerful magic item left to her by the man she considers to be her father?
So the target thing is a Michele thing and not an Erudite thing. She does not. She does not realize that they're like for me, from like a brain point, like if there's someone out there looking for aspect stuff, she's wearing an aspect stuff, and it's not something she can really hide because it's big old silver things on her shoulders. So, it's she's not thinking about that. With her, it's more like I don't know if she's just hesitant because she doesn't think she deserves them.
Okay.
More than anything, I think she doesn't think that it's something so like powerful, and it's something that does grow with you. And she doesn't like. There were so many different like not aspects, but like Osteroth was so much more than she realized, and he was so much more powerful than she realized. And she's like, I don't know if she doesn't know if she's powerful enough to wear them. And she is in reality. She's really fucking powerful for a wizard, actually, even at this level, but she doesn't realize that she is. She's still very self-doubting about her power. Like, she still has those moments where she does things and she's like, oh yeah, that's right, that's a thing I can do. Like last session when we were doing the fight and she like did the thunderball thing and everything kind of flattened out, and she's like, oh shit. She like in my head she had this moment where she went, oh my god. Like she doesn't, like she still does things and she doesn't realize she's like super actually very, very, very powerful, especially like, and not just like in evocation and just in general things that she can do. Like she learned a spell that no one else has known for 2,000 years, and she never, like, I don't think she ever realized the gravity of that, because that's something that's crazy when you think about it. Like, this is a spell that's been lost to time for 2,000 years, and you like were the first person to learn it. Like, theoretically, she could have just changed the name and no one would have noticed, and she didn't.
Oh yeah,
because she didn't, that's not something she would do. That's not something she was deserving. She could have, when she sold it to Danae, she could have just said, oh, this is it's called Erudites, or like Osteroth's Arcane Tunnel. No one would have said anything, because it's a spell that's been, she's theoretically, for all I know, that she's the one who made it. She could have taken full credit for it. No one would have questioned it. But she didn't, because she's not that person. And she doesn't realize how powerful she actually is, and how deserving of things, and how like deserving of things like how he did specifically, he didn't really specifically leave it to her, but he left it to her to find, and he probably wanted her to have them specifically, and because he knew that she would also return them when she was done. Like, she wouldn't keep them because she has no intentions of keeping them. Whenever all this is done, she's returning them. She knows that in her heart of hearts, she's returning them. If she's able to, she will. That's it. And he knows that he knew that she would. That's why he entrusted her to them. So I don't know. I think Erudite, a lot of the times, she does act very spoiled and bratty, whatever. But a lot of it comes from like self-doubt, and I don't think people realize that. A lot of it comes from like not realizing like, oh, you're actually really good at what you do. Like, I don't know. It's with her. It's a lot of. It's very spoiled. She's very spoiled, but she's also very unsure of herself. She's getting more confident, but it takes time.
Yeah, a lot to go, and you saying that, it absolutely makes sense. Kind of stepping in from an only child who's like, oh yeah, I'm learning from this really powerful guy who's my dad, and then it's like, oh yeah, cool. Then, oh wow, this world's really big. Oh yeah, like I have my tricks, but okay, cool. And then you figure out, oh, he's even more powerful. But then it's like, it's only when you have gained a bit and then you step back and put it into context, like maybe then, she'll actually start to realize like, oh, holy crap.
I mean, an 8th level wizard is actually pretty powerful.
Really, really.
Like most people, like wizards don't really get that far. Like she's probably one of the most powerful people in the world, and she doesn't realize it yet, which is kind of freaky. So
there you go. Got powerful wizard, powerful precious bean, the last of their race, and it just goes down the list from there, man. It's cool. I'm excited to see more how Rudi grows with Tarbelis, which is the name of the pauldrons. That's the aspect's name. And
I wonder what's going to trigger them, like their next thing. I really want to know. Like, I'm like, so excited. My god, what am I going to do that triggers that? That's so cool. I have a couple of ideas what triggers that, but we'll see.
You just take them off and start hitting them with magic. Like, wake up! That would be Gail's solution. Just hit it a bunch and see what happens. I always forget. I'm like, yeah, no, that would be Gail's solution. Just hit it a bunch. Yeah, that works. All right. Now we got a question for Kate too. And this has to do with helping Rudi buy the book, actually. So I'm going to kind of rephrase some of this to kind of pare down a little bit so we don't have a bunch of things. But Cole's question is essentially, Morri is loaded at the moment. It's well known that she has the most coin in the party. She hasn't really spent it on anything. And when the time came, she did actually help out a little bit, but it was just kind of like a little bit, kind of like a half push toward the book. So Cole's question is that more of an old habits die hard sort of thing? Is it more of she still has reservations, like I still don't want to get invested in anybody or anything that we're doing? Or is it, I have a goal for all of this and I'm very focused on completing that goal with the money that I have?
A little bit of A, a little bit of C. I've mentioned before that one of Morgan's like base tenets of like her philosophy is self-reliance. And sure, she's moving away from that, and she's trying to be like, since these people didn't just like knock me away, I'm not gonna knock them away, kind of thing. Where was I? My brain is going great today.
It happens.
It's mostly old habits die hard, because like, and it was a weighing of this will benefit the group more if we have it. I should chip in a little bit. It's a little bit of she's trying to be nice to everyone. She's trying to indulge everyone in a way. Like, I actually have like plans for like a conversation with Rudi sometime in the future and stuff like that. About books. Where was it? But it was looking back on it now, because it was just like okay, we need the book. I'm not going to chip in for all of it because no. But looking back on it, it's definitely a very good balance between you need this, but you're going to be the one using it. I'm not going to pay for the whole thing if I'm not going to use it. And we need the book. I want to help you out. You're my friend. Like, we're working towards getting closer as friends and as a group now. As for the third part where it's like, is it a goal for it? Does she have a goal for her money? I actually did have a goal, which we went into with the last session where she got that tattoo because I was worried I'd end up falling out of a tree at some point and finally, and that's where Morgan fucking dies. That's the most inglorious death ever. So I was saving up to make sure I had that tattoo. And from this point on, it's more, I want to save up and make sure I have the capacity to get really anything I want at some point. It's the same mentality you have when you're playing like regular games. Like, Michele, you play Stardew Valley a lot, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You know that mentality where it's like, I can't spend the money because then what if I need it later? Or I can't sell this object because what if I need it later?
I don't have that mentality.
You don't? I do. I am that person who hoards everything in a game.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Because I've been playing Stardew Valley for like the past, like since I got back to school. I've been sitting at my laptop listening to Critical Role stuff and playing Stardew. I have a chest full of spring plants all saved up and I'm like midsummer. Anyways, getting a little distracted. She does have a goal. There's things like, I want an endless quiver, so I don't have to keep buying arrows. I want, I definitely want to enchant the Bleak Rose, get it a little bit better because that's my item now. Like it was so perfect that it's like for Morrigan that I want that to be like her signature thing, and I want like more enchantments on the goggles and such like that. And it's again, it's a little bit of both of. She does have goals, but also she's a thief. She's been a thief for 80 years. And before that, in between her leaving home and her joining it, she was basically just like on the streets alone with nothing and no one. So it's like, it's hard to break and then in between leaving her Thieves Guild and joining Fortune's Blade, she was again on her own. No one to rely on, no one or very few people to rely on, probably not a lot of money in her pockets. She's not just going to give it up for every little thing. I do want to say though, I went through, I think, about half of my savings over the past 2 sessions because of buying stuff, buying the scroll, buying all the stuff for the heist, because that's all practical stuff, and getting the tattoo. I think I went through I'm at about 1,600 gold now compared to the 3,000 I had earlier.
Currently at 14, just 14.
I was down to 20, and then got the 500 for selling the that kit. And that's that's already all spoken for. Yeah, no, for the first time. And then it's that's all going to the greenhouse and other things for the party. And Gail's still trying to save up to buy those endless potions for the party. That's his whole thing. So
yeah,
it's already gone.
Eridate's money just kind of goes. She has it. She's got 14 gold now. I don't know how I'm going to get the thing for Scry. It sucks that thing's 1,000 gold, but whatever. I'll survive. Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Also, you guys don't fucking ask her. You could have been, hey, this is something that can help the whole group, but I need some cash. She's gonna be if you reach level 5. Don't worry,
at some point Eridate's gonna ask about Scry. Don't worry, because don't worry about that.
Have a nice conversation with Morri. She will die for you. And by dying for you, she will be the old grandma who's like, oh, here, have 50 gold. Get yourself some dinner or whatever. Or whatever it is.
I have to figure out what I'm going to do about that because Eridate's the scrying thing is for everybody, really.
Yes. And definitely because you straight up offered to be like, hey, I'll do this and we'll look for your brother.
Yes.
If you went up to her and said, I need more money for this. I'm not gonna have enough. Morgan's gonna be like, okay, I'll steal some shit. I'll make some shit. Which, by the way, you guys, she's the only one who has a job outside of adventuring. Like, she has like stuff she does so she can make money too. That's why she has a shit ton of money.
I'm gonna figure it out like after we do the heist, because like heist might also get us something. So I'm not gonna worry about it yet.
Morgan's gonna find all the shinies and she's gonna steal them and sell them and get that cash back.
So I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, that's my thing, is we're not level 9 yet, so I'm not worrying about it until we're level 9. When we're level 9, then I'll worry about it.
Yes.
That's my whole that's her whole philosophy. Is like, I can't even do the spell yet. So
TLDR, it's definitely the reason why she didn't give all the money is definitely old habits die hard. You still need to be self-reliant, but she is trying to help out more. She's a fucking hoarder because that's carrying over from me, and also she's got good reason to be, and no one's fucking asked her to do like anything. Like, if I definitely think like Jace could be like, not Jace, Gale. It's the same thing, but like whatever. If Gale was like, hey, I need some help with getting this or getting that, she's like, all right, who do you need? I will die for you. Both Morri and I would die for Gale.
Yeah, no, and that totally makes sense. I think one of the interesting things coming up is, as the characters are developing too, I'm curious to see what's going to be the first moment. Is it going to be that moment of Morri's finally like, you know what, everyone else is just jumping in and helping out everybody else? Or is a character finally just gonna go like, bruh, like, I need help, somebody help me? So I'm kind of, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because we're starting to get a lot of those moments where it's like, all right, things are starting to click, everyone's starting to find their thing, and it's less of the, hey, like, can you do this thing, people asking for help, asking to like pull people aside. It's like, yo, let's go, and people are just like, they're already bought in, like, this is a thing, we're going, we're doing this, like, we're hyped, it's awesome. It'll be cool.
2 comments off of that. One thing was, Connor and I were talking after last session and about like Morgan's continuation of the group, because I mentioned I had an idea for a backup, and he was like, if you don't want to play Morri anymore, it's totally fine. And I was like, no, I'm having fun, don't worry about it. I just have an idea, and you guys have heard the spiel, and you guys know how like I love this game so much, but also because I'm 7 feet of anxiety in a 5'2" body, it stresses this game. Everything I do in this game stresses me out. I'm digressing, but it's taken but I'm really glad that Morgan's stuff is on the opposite end of the world, and it's going to take us forever to get over there. That's by the time we get over, like, it's already taken her nearly a year to be like, okay, I care about these people and I trust these people and I'm considering them my friends. Gale is at best friend level because of the shared backstory, and he's the only one who talks to her, and so on. So I'm really glad that's on the opposite side of the world, because it's going to take a fuck ton of time for her to get to that point again of like, these people are my family now. And the other thing, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the help thing. Oh, now I remember. That's definitely something that's carried over from. Morgan's gonna be like the last person, one of the last people to like straight up. Maybe she's already admitted it, and I'm just not counting that. But like, I feel like she's gonna be the last person to straight up admit, like, I need help, like on a deep personal level, because if it's gonna be anything like me, I know I never admit I need help with anything. And Morgan is probably more stubborn than I am. So there's that. I've been talking a lot, sorry. But Michele, do you have any thoughts?
No.
Okay. Sorry. I have a lot of thoughts all the time. Too many thoughts.
So the last question is, Cole posed it to me. This question is, was the feeling that the pauldrons weren't Gale's the entire reason he gave them back to Rudi, or was there more to that decision? Honestly, it's kind of, as with Gale, it's all kind of intertwined. From the onset, he was kind of taken aback, like, oh, you want me to have these? Like, okay, like my friend's giving them to me, okay. And then over the course of wearing them, it's like, okay, they're slowing me down a little bit, and my thing is getting in there fast. And like, yeah, they're cool, but I mean, Gale's read all of the letters. He's read all of the notes. He was the first person to be able to read everything and kind of understand what is going on. So he's had this all floating around in his head for a while. So it's very much to him, especially after reading all of it, it's like these are for Rudi. Like these are her thing. You know, they weren't. They're not waking up for me, and normally, like when I get my hands on something, it wakes the fuck up, and I'm going. So he's like, yeah, like these really feel like they're for Rudi. Also in his mind, Gale's kind of he's trying to take some steps to kind of be more involved in kind of leading everyone where they need to go. I know for the past couple sessions before this last one, there was a lot of indecision among the group, and Gale was watching a lot of this happen and being one who just believes in fate and is just kind of, okay, like if I have any idea of what to do, like I'm just going to do the thing. Like I know what to do. And he has a couple other reasons which haven't exactly been touched on yet, but it's, hey, I need to start doing this and making sure everybody's ready and get everyone ready, so that way we can just jump into this thing, because it's going to be coming at us. Essentially, Gale sees in his mind, with the way that everything's panning out, he sees a couple big fights essentially coming everyone's way, and it's not just Fortune's Blade, it's kind of the world, because he's looking at this like, oh, this is like all of the really, 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 really bad stuff. Okay. Cool. Okay, so like we're gonna be essentially staring down the pit of hell. All right, like this is as bad as it gets. So he's trying to make sure that everyone is ready, and in his mind, making sure that Rudi's had time with something that he feels like is for her, and that also gives her an extra option to get out of the way, because he remembers what happened on the island and he doesn't want that happening again. He even made mention, like, you can burst closer to me and then I can close the distance to make sure, like, you don't go down. He's trying to make sure that everyone's safe, in his own Gale way. So that's kind of
he's gonna take that 50 feet and just run the fuck away.
Yeah, and again, with the next barbarian level, Gale will have 55 feet of movement, so he can close that distance. He can do it.
Yeah,
that's what Gale's here for.
She's only got 25 feet now. I'm just like, I'm as slow as Ro now.
Fensa feels bad, man.
It's a little bit. Luckily, I have other stuff that like lets me move pretty quick. Like I have Dimension Door and stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah,
like I just have to have Dimension Door up forever now.
Pretty much. Yeah, but there's also like, if you're moving a lot as a wizard, I feel like that's normally like outside of like 10 to 15 feet around.
Yeah,
you're already like in a really bad place, and something went wrong.
I mean, that's what happened. That's what happened in the where she died. I didn't move at all. Well, I did move, and then I fucked myself over by flying, and then, I died.
Yeah.
It was a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, that was just a lot of bad, yeah. And that's why in Gale's head, he's sort of like, all right, yeah, no, we need to give you these so that way you burst and then move. It's all about buying. It's not so much about, hey, one thing and I'm out of danger. It's more about, hey, buy time so that way I can get over and take out the thing that's threatening you.
Okay, wait. Weird question. I actually have to ask this to Connor now. I just realized. Does that affect fly too? So like I only have 55 feet of movement if I fly, but I can also move 110 feet once. Because fly is usually 60 feet.
Yeah. If it does. I mean, the way that he worded it is just movement speed, but it could be. He may edit it to walking speed.
I'm gonna
because it's something you're carrying.
That's
yeah,
something
I would
have
ask him that.
I'm gonna ask him now. Now
he might pop in at some point.
Nah, he probably won't.
All right.
Probably not. I know we're getting close to wrapping this one up because I know I got a couple things I'm gonna do here, but yeah, there are a lot of really cool things that are going to be coming up, and we're clearly about to walk into a place where the crew hasn't been before, except for Ro. We're getting to some really cool Ro stuff finally, which I'm super excited for. She gets to shine finally. And it'll be really, really cool. Thank you to Kate and Michele for joining me tonight and talking about the episodes, guys. This was fun. And thank you to our wonderful audience for checking us out, as always. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you spreading the word. It is going to be an awesome 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.